Hey everyone, I'm Adv.Phijo Joseph. I'm compelled to make this video in order to express my agony and anxiety over the contempt of court issue of very respected advocate Prasant Bhushan. It's quite sad to notice that the issue is not discussed the way it should have been discussed, neither by the social media nor by the so-called social activists. Rather, the issue is being hushed up. Mr. Bhushan attracted contempt proceedings against him after his interview with Tehelka in 2009, wherein he stated that half of the last 16 Chief Justices of India were corrupt. Later, he expressed his regret over the issue that the comment was not personal, was not meant to be personal. But on the other hand, Tehelka rendered an apology, don't know for what mistake, which this man was not willing to do, our man, Advocate Prasant Bhushan. Now the case is posted to August 17th for further hearing. This must be read with two other incidents. A couple of tweets made by Advocate Prasant Bhushan in last June. The first tweet came on June 27th, where he spoke about the role of Supreme Court in the destruction of Indian democracy over last 6 years and the role of last 4 Chief Justices of India in it. The second tweet came on June 29th, where he commented on a picture of Chief Justice Bobde astride a Harley Davidson bike that how come the Chief Justice is on a Harley Davidson bike without a mask and helmet even when the Supreme Court is on lockdown mode? Of course, obviously a comment that could have been taken with a bit of sense of humor and retaliated with a sportsman's spirit. But the Supreme Court issued a show cause notice as to why contempt of proceedings should not be initiated against him. I must say that the Supreme Court is setting a very, very bad precedent. Is the apex court of the country so emotionally fragile an institution? May I humbly remind my lords what happened after the famous pike capture judgment in 1987 by the House of Lords. The Daily Mirror was dire enough to publish the photograph of 3 judges, that too with the caption, "You old fools." But the Lord Templeman refused to initiate contempt proceedings, stating that indeed he was old and whether he was a fool is a matter of perception. Justice V.R. Krishnaiyer once observed that the right answer to the criticism of the court is not ferocious contempt sentencing but fine performance. People nationwide have come forward declaring their solidarity towards Advocate Prasant Bhushan. 127 prominent citizens have signed a petition seeking the Supreme Court to reconsider the contempt issue. The signatures include prominent jurists like Justice Madan B. Lokur, politicians like Brinda Karat, activists like Arundhati Roy, men from Fauj like retired Admiral Ramdas, and people from all walks of life. According to them, the contempt proceedings initiated against Advocate Prasant Bhushan is an attempt to stifle the criticism of court. An attempt to stifle the criticism of court by each and every advocate. An attempt to stifle the criticism of court by each and every citizen, each and every stakeholder in Indian democracy. Is Advocate Prasant Bhushan really guilty of contempt of court? The Contempt of Court Act 1971 defines what a contempt is. Section 2B, Civil Contempt. Any willful disobedience of any sort of court direction is a civil contempt. Now come to criminal contempt, Section 2C, scandalizing, interfering with the administration of justice, deteriorating or deliberately lowering the stature of the court attracts criminal contempt proceedings against the one who does it. Now the real dreaded problem is, even the bona fide criticism comes under the head scandalizing. Now the question is, did Advocate Prasant Bhushan really scandalize or deliberately deteriorate or lower the stature of the court? Advocates Act 1961, Bar Council of India Rules 1975, and relevant provisions of CPC and CRPC taken together speak up in a single voice that advocates, in their capacity as the officers of the court, assist the court in dispensing justice, administration of justice. The lawyers, being the members of the bar, are in equal status with judges. I repeat, the lawyers are in equal status with judges in the administration of justice and dispensing justice. So, I urge upon all fellow lawyers nationwide to take up the issue, discuss the issue in all possible social spaces, social media, to tweet, to post, to make videos, and if possible, declare your solidarity to Advocate Prasant Bhushan, because singling out one and hunting one from the herd is a systemic menace that can come upon anybody, any lawyer inside the system at any point of time in future. May I most humbly remind the Supreme Court of India that what we have here are not colonial courts or imperial judiciary. The Indian judiciary is the trusted pillar of the sovereign socialist secular democracy. Making the criticism of courts a taboo is a heinous application of colonialism or imperialism the other way around. To follow the ideals that promoted, that inspired and motivated the freedom struggle is envisaged as one of the fundamental duties of the citizen by the Constitution. Judges come and go. The Supreme Court and its stature remain. Whoever be in the office, if his conduct seems to be going against or deteriorating this glorified stature, it's the bounden duty of an advocate to point it out, criticize it, get it corrected and rectified. Caesar's wife should be well above suspicion. Advocates are social engineers, quoting Roscoe Pound. The social engineering theory by Roscoe Pound is not a thing that to be printed and kept inside the books of jurisprudence. And if the Honorable Supreme Court is of the opinion that all what I have said amounts to contempt, my lords, here I am. Initiate contempt proceedings against me. Initiate contempt proceedings against each and every lawyer who disclose their anguish in the running of Indian judiciary. Initiate contempt proceedings against each and every advocate who discuss the idea of contempt, their ideas about the contempt of court proceedings on any social medium. Let it become a mass movement. And for the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court initiated proceedings against Advocate Prasant Bhushan on the grounds of scandalizing and deterioration, my lord, the proceedings should be initiated in the first place against the four former judges, Justice Kurian Joseph, Justice Madan B. Lokur, Justice Ranjan Gogoi, Justice Chalameshwar, who, for the first time in the history of India, addressed a press conference stating that the running of Supreme Court is not in order. They also stated that they are left with no option but to address the nation. My lords, please do keep in mind that the Indian judiciary, the Supreme Court, is the last but first resort of 138 crore miserable Indians. Of course, the last resort would be God himself. Thank you.